Good afternoon. I'm Danielle Shenk in the 1011 Now Alert Center with your weekly consumer safety spotlight. Joining me once again is Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. How's it going today, Josh?
It's going great, Danielle. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Josh, today we're talking about a crypto scam that cost an Iowan thousands of dollars. What can you tell us?
Yeah, an Iowa woman lost nearly $80,000 after someone on TikTok offered her a job, and the job was to rate photos online for money, which seemed legitimate. She even was able to see in real time her earnings grow on an online dashboard. But then when she tried to cash out, the money was gone, and so was her recruiter. And we call this a pig butchering scam, which is a really aggressive term, but the name really tells you everything that the scam consists of, where the scammer will try to fatten up the victim with fake wins or false trust, and then they take everything all at once. And it works because it's patient. This is not something that plays out over 24 hours. This is something that in some cases takes many months to actualize. And these aren't impulsive crimes. These are things that are carefully engineered, and they make victims feel smart, not suspicious. And unfortunately, it preys on a lot of our tendencies to want something that can be done from the comfort of our own home on our own hours. And this Iowa woman unfortunately learned that not all of these opportunities are legitimate. I mean, $79,000 lost, feeling like you were about to have a fantastic, uh, job for an extended period of time is something that is really hard to swallow and to move past. But I do credit her for coming forward with her report. This was reported to us in the past few weeks. And this is something that, again, likely originated many months prior and ultimately recently became something that the victim realized was a scam.
And so I'm on TikTok quite a bit, so I've heard of this affiliate marketing kind of situation, but never really looked too much into it. So why are platforms like TikTok becoming a common starting point for scammers like this?
Well, it's where the victims are. This really relied on a website called affiliatemetalite.com. And it's a very convincing website. It looks like something that you would anticipate paying out. It looks like something that has, a couple of splash pages. It's got social media URLs at the bottom of the page. None of them are active, so that's usually a giveaway. But again, most folks just look for the icons rather than whether there's actually something on those redirect pages. But it's also an opportunity for victims to feel like they are earning money for things that they can do from the comfort of their own home. And in a lot of cases, folks are willing to bypass some of those road signs and those red flags that they would otherwise stop and reconsider. And cryptocurrency, like you mentioned at the top, Danielle, that was the mode of payment in this scam. Crypto is really the new wire transfer for scammers. If somebody is asking you to deposit or invest using cryptocurrency to unlock future earnings or a job opportunity, that is something you should always walk away from. That is like a stranger asking for cash, and you're never going to get that back. So, unfortunately, people are very regularly willing to sign up for a little down to receive a larger payout down the road, even though in actuality, there's very few instances where that would actually be like a legitimate way to do business.
And so if someone is told they must deposit money to unlock earnings, what should that signal to them in this situation?
Yeah, it would signal that the business is really not interested in doing business the traditional way, which is not always a bad thing, but it would suggest that some trepidation. It would suggest that you should at least verify who that company is, whether they are what they set themselves up to be. If you look up this website, I mean, it looks like it's a legitimate company. Nothing would trip your guard, right? It passes all of the smell tests. There's a carousel of images. It looks like a website that was just built and built to look legitimate. But if you have seen that this company has been used in the context of a scam, which now you will, based on this scam tracker report that came in, you'll know to bypass the opportunity. The risks just simply outweigh the rewards. And unfortunately, at the time, the person probably didn't see any sort of track record, but also indicated because of that lack of a track record, there was nothing amiss. There was no report tying it to scam-related activity. There was no reason to be suspicious because the website looked clean and the job opportunity seemed great. We also, though, I think, Danielle, have talked in the past about fake dashboards. It is so convincing to see in real time your balance grow and to get excited about that. People who are involved in like investing of any kind can speak to what a thrill that is and the dopamine rush that comes from seeing your balance grow in real time. But those numbers are unfortunately fictional, and it's really easy to concoct completely illegitimate dashboards that convince folks that somehow what they are doing in the moment is impacting their finances in real time. If you can't withdraw your money freely and immediately, the money isn't yours. And that's really hard to reconcile for a lot of folks who kind of assume that there's going to be some built-in lag time. But it's really important that you understand that sometimes you can withdraw your money when it's held legitimately, and other times you can't when it's being held by someone who has ulterior motives at play.
And I mean, man, this website does look pretty snazzy and believable. What are some of the biggest red flags in affiliate marketing or maybe some simple task-based job offers?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the reports that we monitor in this space involve earnings before effort. That is a red flag. If somebody is promising that you're going to make money before you've done meaningful work, that's usually a sign that most jobs don't work that way, right? With the upfront payment. Legitimate jobs will pay you after the results are verified, not during an onboarding process. Anytime you see, I would say seeing a job on TikTok is probably at least something that you should tread carefully with, because TikTok is not a job board. So anytime you see an unsolicited offer on social media, especially something that involves cryptocurrency, if they come out upfront with that this is an opportunity that involves crypto, that is something that should be treated with serious skepticism. Affiliate marketing as a whole is really, on one end, it's more common in 2026 than ever, but on another, it's really hard to find what is a legitimate affiliate marketing opportunity, which is why it's really important to do your research on that company to ensure that they could even capably handle paying out the roles and responsibilities that they allegedly are hiring for. So, there are a lot of red flags on this site. I would say the social media icons in particular, something that usually give it away. Most legitimate enterprises are not interested in actually having a real social media profile, because in theory that just sticks their neck out that much more and is another intake valve for people filing complaints. Most scammers are really trying to control the complaint pattern and keep their operation under wraps as best they can. One more thing, Danielle, I would mention is the idea that you need to deposit to unlock your earnings. That is always a scam. That has been a scam for more than a century. No legitimate employer or platform requires you to fund your own account to receive pay. And it's the company's job to pay you, right? It's not your job to pay to unlock the money. It just isn't how business works.
And so we've mentioned cryptocurrency a couple of times. Why is it that scammers are pushing for more of that? Because I mean, how realistic is it to even recover that money once it's sent?
I hesitate to say it never happens, because I don't think that is true, but it's really important. Time is of the essence in all scam related monitoring, all consumer protection efforts. But with crypto in particular, it really is important that you get your arms around the situation as quickly as possible by reporting it as quickly as possible. The FBI is able to recover actually quite a bit of money through crypto, in some cases by freezing the process in real time. So, basically turning the spigot off versus actually recouping that money. But it is such an unregulated space that it's very challenging to know that money has not been sent to a number of cold wallets or forwarded to a bunch of different users until it's too late. It's akin to moving your money around underwater. It's really challenging to get a clear picture of where that money is once it's been sent anywhere at all. Which is of course why, because of the velocity and because of the confusion, it's really an ideal payment method for scammers because they know that there's an unregulated market and they know that you're going to be confused the entire time you're using it. And as a result, they're probably going to stand a much better opportunity to make away with that money.
And now, are you seeing an increase in these types of scams in our region? I know it happened to an Iowan, but it could very well happen to a Nebraskan.
Yeah, I would say affiliate marketing is never been scaled in the way it is currently, and some of that is probably obvious, right? You have the ability to connect with people all around the region at a rate that would have been unthinkable 20 years ago, but now it's very common, and you have social media that pours gasoline on that fire, and you've got artificial intelligence that pours gasoline on that fire, and you also still have a lot of confusion around what affiliate marketing looks like in 2026 with influencers and people who are looking to simply make a cut of money based on social media activity that they perform from the comfort of their own home. So I would say it's probably never been more widely reported than it is today. We certainly see it quite a bit in the Midwest, and it's something to be wary of because again, the market is so unregulated and there's still so much confusion in this new industry that there's going to be a lot of unsuspecting victims to pick off, and that's clearly what scammers are trying to do.
And with this affiliate marketing being more of a work from home job, is this targeting a certain age group, or is it kind of just anyone who wants to work from home?
Well, I mean, I would hesitate to say it's not impacting every demographic because I don't know that to be true. But I will say that chances are, if you're on TikTok, there is definitely a demographic that is more popular on that platform than others, and that's folks under 35. So I would say that the majority of the reports that we receive are from 35 to 44 on social media. That's actually where this report came from. It was not somebody between 18 and 24, which maybe if you just saw the headline you would think. But there's a lot of reports that are undocumented, and a lot of those reports involve Gen Z and the youngest generation. But there are also people over 50 who are interested in becoming influencers for particular brands too. So I don't want to paint with one broad brush. I would say that the majority of the reports that we get are from folks who are 35 and under, but we do actually occasionally receive reports from those who maybe you wouldn't anticipate.
And now, if someone realizes that they may be involved in a scam like this, or even notice it before they get involved, what should they do?
It's essential that you report your experience. It's essential that you document your experience. If you can collect the attachments into a zip file, that would be extremely helpful to investigators, to the BBB, to whomever it is that you choose to report it to. I'll make my pitch for Scam Tracker. It's bbb.org/scam tracker. It takes less than 3 minutes to file a report. You can be kept completely anonymous. I'm going to repeat that. You can be kept completely anonymous. So the idea that somehow you're going to be tied to this report for the remainder of time is just not true. And it's also something that is a way to protect the community from needing to go through what you experienced. What I mean by that is this person maybe didn't know that this affiliate marketing company was a scam. They certainly probably did a little bit of research into them and didn't see any patterns or anything suspicious. Now, if you look up the name of this company, you will see that they are attached to a Scam Tracker report. That in and of itself is so critical because most people, when they know someone has been involved in a scam previously, will choose not to do business with them, or they'll walk away from that situation before it's too late. It's why it's essential that we bring all of this into the light. Again, this is a 2.5-minute process that could save somebody $79,000 from needing to go through this horrific ordeal. And it's something that I would encourage all members of the public to participate in. Even if you're not reporting a scam, you can also see what has been reported in your area. So if you wanted to see what's going on in the 68527 zip code, you could drill down on what has been reported. If you wanted to see a certain type of scam type and see the reports associated with that scam type, you could do that. So it's an extremely useful tool, and I'd encourage folks to do what they can to protect the public from needing to go through something as horrific as this Iowa woman went through.
Now, is there anything else that you want to mention about this scam? Maybe even the trust that it took to convince someone to invest nearly $80,000 into something like this?
Yeah, yeah, I would say that from what we understand from the report, this is someone who uh, did not jump in willingly. They did not see that this was going to be a lucrative opportunity and immediately began to trust the scammer at the other end of the line. The trust was earned over an extended period of time. So I know that there is a hesitancy or a kind of a misconception that when people are getting scammed, it's instantaneous, it's in the moment. People are jumping at things that are not real. This person was coaxed, they were manipulated over a very long period of time to deposit this money. Okay, this person didn't just have $79,000 lying around and plugged it into account and whoops, what a mistake. This person was manipulated. And these are really sophisticated operations too. That's something I don't want it to scare people, but it really is important that people know that this isn't somebody who just woke up and said, I wonder if I could scam somebody out of, $80,000. This is an operation that has real resources behind it, has a website behind it that looks legitimate, has tactics that have been refined many, many times. And this is something that we all need to be wary of, because even if you're not on TikTok, even if you're not interested in becoming an influencer, there is going to be a scam that looks probably an awful lot like this with the resources that something like this commands. And, it might come to your front door. And it's important that when it does, you're able to fall back on some of these foundational aspects of consumer protection and know where it is that you can turn if something does go wrong.
All right, Josh, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Danielle.
Absolutely. Well, stay tuned to our website, 1011now.com. Follow us on all our social platforms and be sure to download our app on Roku for the latest news of the day. From our newsroom to wherever you are, we'll see you on the next stream.
1011 News is everywhere. Download our smart TV apps and follow us on social media at 1011 News.